Thinking of a relaxing cruise? Think twice about your luggage. Hello, dear! Most cruise passengers think airport security is strict, but cruise security can be just as serious, sometimes even more. Before you board the ship, every bag goes through scanners. Security officers check luggage, carry-ons, and sometimes even random items inside suitcases. And every year, thousands of passengers have things taken away before they even step on board. Hair tools, household items, travel gadgets, even things people pack on almost every vacation. Some of them are obvious, but many of them are things people bring without realizing they're actually prohibited on cruise ships. In 2026, cruise lines have become even stricter about certain items because of fire risks, safety regulations, and ship security rules. And if these items show up in your luggage, cruise security will confiscate them immediately. Sometimes you get them back at the end of the cruise. Sometimes you don't. So in this video, we're going through 21 items cruise security commonly confiscates, including several that most passengers accidentally pack without realizing they're not allowed on board. Because the last thing you want on embarkation day is to start your vacation in the security office explaining why there's a hot plate in your suitcase. Let's start with one of the most common items cruise security takes away. This is one of the most commonly confiscated items on cruise ships. Many passengers bring extension cords so they can charge multiple devices in their cabin. Cruise cabins often have limited outlets, so it seems like a smart thing to pack. But most cruise lines prohibit standard extension cords because they can overload the electrical system and create a fire hazard. If security finds one in your luggage, it will almost always be taken away. Some cruise lines allow cruise-approved power strips without surge protection, but traditional extension cords are usually not allowed. This one surprises a lot of people. Surge protectors are extremely common in homes and hotels, but cruise ships ban them almost universally. The reason is that ship electrical systems are designed differently from land-based systems. Surge protectors can interfere with the ship's power grid and potentially create electrical issues. Even small travel surge protectors are typically confiscated during luggage screening. If you need extra outlets, you should only bring non-surge cruise-approved adapters. Wrinkled clothes are part of travel, but bringing your own iron isn't the solution on a cruise. Personal irons are banned because they are considered a major fire risk inside cabins. Cruise ships handle thousands of passengers at once, and any heating appliance increases the risk of accidents. If security finds an iron in your suitcase, it will be removed immediately. Instead, most ships offer laundry services or self-service ironing rooms for passengers who want to press their clothes. This rule is simple. Open flames are not allowed. Candles, incense sticks, and similar items are banned on cruise ships because of fire safety regulations. Even small decorative candles will be confiscated during security screening. Some passengers bring scented candles for their cabins, not realizing that even unlit candles are usually prohibited. If you want a similar effect, cruise lines typically recommend battery-powered candles or air fresheners instead. Some travelers like bringing small appliances so they can make coffee or heat food in their cabin. But cruise ships generally prohibit personal cooking devices such as coffee makers, hot plates, portable stoves, electric skillets. These items are considered both fire hazards and electrical risks. Cabins are not designed for cooking, and cruise lines want all food preparation to happen in controlled kitchen environments. If these show up in your luggage, security will remove them before your bags are delivered to your room. This one confuses a lot of passengers because it feels like a safer alternative to an iron. But most cruise lines ban personal garment steamers for the same reason they ban irons: heat and fire risk. Even small travel steamers are often confiscated during luggage screening. Some cruise lines make exceptions for specific models, but many don't. That's why experienced cruisers usually rely on wrinkle release sprays or ship laundry services instead. If security sees a steamer in your suitcase, there's a good chance you won't see it again until the end of the cruise. Drones have become a popular travel gadget, but many cruise lines restrict them. Even though drones might be allowed in your luggage, passengers are usually not allowed to fly them anywhere on the ship or while on board the cruise. Because of this, security sometimes confiscates drones during embarkation and holds them until the cruise ends. The concern is safety and privacy. Flying a drone near a crowded ship deck or port area can create serious risks, If you plan to bring one, always check your cruise line's specific policy first. Small Bluetooth speakers are usually fine, but large portable speakers or party speakers are often restricted. Cruise ships want to avoid loud music disturbing other passengers, especially in cabins or public spaces. Security sometimes confiscates oversized speakers if they believe they could create noise problems. If you want to listen to music in your cabin, small personal speakers or headphones are usually the safer choice. We mentioned surge protectors earlier, but power strips are another common issue. Many passengers bring power strips thinking they're allowed because they need extra outlets for phones, tablets, cameras, and laptops. The problem is most power strips include surge protection, which makes them prohibited. Cruise lines usually only allow non-surge multi-outlet adapters designed specifically for cruise ships. If the power strip has surge protection built in, security will almost certainly remove it. This one depends on the model. Some compact multi-plug adapters with USB ports are allowed, but others include internal surge protection, which makes them prohibited. From the outside, it can be hard for security officers to tell the difference quickly. Because of that, certain adapters get confiscated simply because they appear to contain surge protection components. Experienced cruisers usually bring simple outlet splitters without surge protection to avoid problems. One of the most common confiscated items is hard liquor packed in luggage. Most cruise lines do not allow passengers to bring bottles of liquor on board. If security finds whiskey, vodka, rum, tequila, or other spirits in your bags, it will usually be taken away during screening. Some cruise lines will return it at the end of the cruise, but you won't be able to keep it in your cabin during the trip. The reason is simple. Alcohol sales on board are a major part of cruise revenue, so cruise lines strictly control what passengers bring. Some cruise lines allow passengers to bring 1 or 2 bottles of wine at embarkation. But if you bring more than the allowed amount, the extra bottles will likely be confiscated. Passengers sometimes assume the rule isn't strictly enforced, but security does count bottles during screening. Anything over the limit is usually held by the cruise line until the end of the voyage. This may sound obvious, but it still happens often enough that cruise lines remind passengers about it constantly. Any illegal substances discovered during luggage screening will immediately be confiscated. And depending on the situation, the consequences can be much more serious than simply losing the item. Local authorities at the port may get involved, especially when international laws apply. Cruise ships operate under strict international security rules, so this is taken very seriously. Weapons are strictly prohibited on cruise ships. This includes obvious items like firearms, ammunition, large knives, but it also includes things some passengers don't immediately think about, such as self-defense weapons, certain tactical tools, large multi-tools. If security finds anything that could be considered a weapon, it will be confiscated immediately. This one surprises many travelers. Pepper spray, mace, and similar self-defense sprays are usually not allowed on cruise ships. Even though they're legal in many places on land, cruise ships prohibit them because they could cause harm if accidentally discharged in a confined environment. Security officers almost always confiscate these items during luggage screening. Hoverboards were popular travel gadgets a few years ago, but most cruise lines banned them because of battery safety concerns. These devices use lithium-ion batteries that have been known to overheat or catch fire in rare cases. Because of that risk, hoverboards are usually prohibited entirely. If one appears in your luggage, cruise security will confiscate it immediately. Mobility scooters for accessibility are allowed, but recreational electric scooters often are not. Devices designed for transportation around ports or onboard decks can create safety hazards in crowded areas. Cruise lines may allow them only in certain circumstances, but many recreational models are restricted. If security determines the device doesn't qualify as a mobility aid, it may be taken during screening. Some sporting gear is allowed, but certain items can be restricted depending on the cruise line and itinerary. Examples that sometimes get flagged include baseball bats, large golf training equipment, hockey sticks, items that could potentially be used as weapons or cause safety concerns, may be held by security until the end of the cruise. Passengers planning to bring sports gear should always check their cruise line's rules ahead of time. It might sound unusual, but cruise security occasionally confiscates items like handcuffs or restraint devices. These items can raise safety concerns, and cruise lines often prefer not to allow them on board. Even novelty items can sometimes be flagged during luggage screening. Most cruise lines allow small packaged snacks, but large quantities of outside food can be restricted. This is especially true for fresh foods, homemade meals, or items that may violate agricultural rules at international ports. Security may remove these items from luggage to comply with health and customs regulations. Finally, anything that produces an open flame will almost always be confiscated. This includes items such as torch lighters, portable grills, fuel-burning camping stoves. Even if they're small or designed for travel, cruise ships prohibit them because of fire safety concerns. On a vessel carrying thousands of passengers, eliminating fire risks is one of the highest priorities. #final reminder. If security does confiscate something, don't panic. In many cases, the item is simply stored by the cruise line and returned to you at the end of the trip. But some items may be permanently prohibited, meaning you won't get them back at all. That's why it's always worth checking the cruise line's prohibited items list before you pack. Because starting your vacation is a lot more enjoyable when security isn't pulling unexpected gadgets out of your suitcase. So yeah, subscribe for more videos about cruises, and see you in the next.